Hey everyone, welcome back to Shadow Sword Airsoft East. You may have seen this before or know of it. This is my Tokyo Marui G3 SG1. This is the one we turned into a DMR. Did a bunch of gearbox work. I'll put a link to that video in the description. Today we're going to be upgrading the Hopup bucking. So we're going to take this down. I'll go over the basic Hopup on this particular unit, and we'll show you what we're going to be putting in. Let's get into that right now. Alright guys, let's get into this thing here. This is my Tokyo Marui SG1. I turned this into a DMR. So basically, I'm going to be upgrading the Hopup bucking. Now, I did put a new bucking in it that came with the new Hopup unit. But at the FPS I'm at, I probably should have something a little more sturdy. Something a little, less susceptible to ripping, because it's just a standard rubber. I don't even know if it's 60 degree or what. I don't even know. So we're going to be changing that out. We're going to be putting the maple leaf bucking in here. This is 80 degree, which running over 500 feet per second, I think it said anything over 400. Over 400, they recommend running the 80 degree. So we're going to run the 80 degree maple leaf bucking. Seems to be a decent piece of bucking here, so we'll go ahead and get that in there. Let's get this SG1 apart. I already have the rear stock removed. Basically, to remove the rear, all you have to do is take the two body pins out. The rear stock will slide off of the receiver. That's kind of holding the rear section of it together. If you can notice, this isn't in here, because I did have this off at one point. I just kind of slid it in here just for the sake of this. These SG1s will have a plastic piece that goes in here that screws into the back of the gearbox. You'll have to also remove that after the rear stock is removed. Once that's out of the way, obviously your wiring will be coming out the back. Once that's out of the way, the only thing at that point that's keeping the upper and the lower together is just the one body pin here that goes through right there. Once you take that out, you should be able to, and depending on who makes it and what it is, this is a metal upper and lower receiver. Sometimes they're a little tough to get apart, but because I had this apart, it shouldn't give me too much zip. See, just kind of yank on it and that thing will slide right out. So basically just slide it all the way out the back. See if I can do this without knocking the camera over. Okay, boom, there we go. So now my lower is separated. And that this whole thing, gearbox, motor grip, none of that stuff has to be removed or disassembled from the lower receiver. Basically just your rear body pins, pull off the stock, take out that little plastic piece screwed into the back of the gearbox, and then take the one pin out that goes through the front of to hold the two pieces, to upper and the lower receivers together. And once you get it here, I'll flip this over. I don't know how much light is going to shine in there from the... And you can see it. There you go. You can probably see it. Right there. That's where the BBs go in. That's actually the Hopup. So basically, if you just come in here, just put your finger right on this side of it and push it back. Boom. It slides right out. You can see it. See there? It just pops out, and then you just keep on sliding, and your inner barrel and your Hopup unit will just come out of the upper receiver. Now, your upper receiver, outer barrel, front handguard, that's all, still all assembled. You don't have to do anything with that. Just get that up out of the way. Slide this over here. So, I always have the inner barrel, and the SG1s, well, I should say G3, not necessarily SG1, because the SAS, which is the shorter version of the SG1, also has a rotary Hopup. So I replaced this because this is an older Tokyo Marui, and there was some wear and tear on where the BBs feed in right here. So I figured, I'll just order a whole new Hopup since they're still available. I'll just order a new one. And yeah, rotary Hopup. So it's not too difficult to really change this. This is the Matrix Type Bore barrel, 6.03 millimeter, and this is 469 millimeter length. Most SG1s that I've seen for sale at retailers have a 509 millimeter inner barrel. Tokyo Marui didn't go that route. It's a 469. I purchased a 509 and found out that it didn't fit, but I have something else that has a 509 inner barrel, so I'm going to repurpose that type bore for that particular AEG. And then we went with the 469, which at the time I got it, it was on sale. I don't know if they were clearing out that particular size or what, but yeah. So it'll serve its purpose. So basically, like most Hopups that are held onto the barrel here, there's just a clip. There's one little clip. This one here, because it's a rotary Hopup, it's a little bit hidden. So basically, here's your rotary section. This is what pushes the. As you turn this, you'll see right in here. You'll see that piece go down. And that's basically pushing the nub through the bucking into the actual Hopup. So that gives you your little backspin. A lot of us already know that, but for the people who may not, that's basically where that's coming from. So on this rotary Hopup, if you take this rotary dial here, and it doesn't click or anything, it just spins. You just take this and pull it forward, and this should come right off. Give it a little twist, and then just kind of pull on it, and you can slide that right off. So basically, if you look in here, you can see how there's a channel that starts on the outside, and as it goes around, it goes to the inside. That's basically how it's pushing the nub. Basically, it's pushing down on this little piece right here, which goes down into the barrel. So now, if we open this up slowly, you can see it. You look right there. There's a little, like a C, like a little clip. That's the rubber nub. That's the piece that gets pushed into the bucking. So I don't lose it. I'm going to pull this out and set this aside. Now, this maple leaf bucking does not come with the nub, so I'm reusing the nub from basically the Hopup unit. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now, if you look here, you might be able to see it. It's kind of hard because it's all black. Right there, there's a little clip. It's basically like a C clip. There are notches in it, so it only goes on the one way. They're to one side or the other, and they line up with the notches on the barrel itself. So basically, I have to get that off. Now I'm going to need a little screwdriver, which I don't know. Yeah, I still have them in here. I had to move my tools because I did some cleaning in here. Let's see what I have. My little precision screwdriver kit here. That should work. Doesn't need to be anything special. I don't want to stick a knife in there and gouge anything as I bump the camera. Sorry about that. Okay, so basically we just have to get something in here so we can pry up the corner. It's really not the tightest. Well, actually, no, this one's not. This one's really tight in there. There we go. See? Just give it a little push and it will come off. Boom, and it just snaps right off. And, well, I should say, pops right off. It doesn't break, it just snaps off. And if you can look in here, again, it's just a C, a little C clip. And like I said, there are teeth in there that only go one way. So if you look here, you can see how the notch on the barrel is more towards the front. So inside this clip, you want to line up those two grooves that way. Because if you flip it around, they'll be this way. It will not clip onto the barrel. Now, depending on how you installed this and put this all together, sometimes you can slide these right off. Other times they don't want to slide off easily. Let's see how, oh, and mine did. I put a little bit of the silicone grease on here, just a little bit. And I still have some of this stuff. This is it's actually Tokyo Marui. I don't know if it'll focus on that. Coming too close, but no, it's the silicone grease. I just put just a little bit, just to help it slide on so I'm not tearing anything. And also, if you'll notice this little, I'm guessing this is brass, that basically goes into this section here, slide down the barrel, goes in here. It helps keep it stable so that the barrel isn't moving around in there. But of course, at the other end, this barrel, I had a little O-ring that basically helps keep it steady at the other end. So I'm also going to slide this off so we don't lose this. We'll leave this here. And then there's our bucking. And basically, to get that off, all you do is just slide it off the barrel. Booyah, just like that. Now you'll notice the barrel, for anybody who hasn't done this, there's a notch right there. There's a groove in the barrel. Now inside the bucking, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. There's a lighting. Here, let me see if I can get my flashlight on there. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. Sometimes when I use the flashlight, it blinds the camera. Of course, I can't see what we're doing because of my glasses. There we go. You see there's a notch on the inside of the bucking. So that's kind of self-explanatory. So that the bucking only goes on the barrel the one way. I mean, you can slide it on without that groove matched up to the groove on the barrel, but you will not be able to get your hop-up unit on because it'll be making this way too fat. This won't slide over. So, all right, let's get this maple leaf thing out of here. Let's see what we're looking at. Yeah, brand new package. I even had to rip the label. Never opened. Let's get this out of here. See what this looks like. I mean, I've seen pictures online, and I mean, a bucking is a bucking, but I notice just messing with it, this piece right here is a lot more firm compared to this one, where if you push, what the heck, it focused a second ago. I had it nice and close and it was, there you go. I guess I have to trick the camera. So this little lip right here, this is where the BB gets fed in there. Well, that lip is pretty flexible on this one, not as flexible on the maple leaf. The whole front section of this thing seems to be a bit more stiff. The other thing I notice here, it has these little ridges on the outside. Not sure the reasoning behind that, but I noticed whether it was 80 degrees, 70, 60, 50, 40, whichever maple leaf one you got, it actually had those little notches on there. So let me look in here real quick, shine the light in. And this does have a built-in, we'll call it a semi-nub. It's not really enough to make its own hop-up, so you still have to use the hop-up, the nub that comes with the other bucking. This one has it too. Yeah, that one has it too. Now, some hop-ups the hop-up buckings do not have a nub molded into the inside of this bucking. So that, and I have a couple that are like that, but that's for a different application. So I figured, let me just keep this simple, and basically this maple leaf is just like the stock one, but a lot more stiff. So now I gotta find my notch. Of course, I can't see it because it's all one color. There we go. Okay, so you got the notch. See if I can get this thing to focus there. I don't know if you can barely see it right there, right at the top of the circle. Okay, so now I got to get that ready to go back on here. And let's see if it even slides on. There might still be some grease on the barrel, because I did put a little bit on here as well. And also, when you put this on, if you have it where it, see now I can't even twist it, because that thing is going right into that groove, and it's, look at that, boop, slid right on there. So now, if I can get it to slide, oh, there it goes, yep. Cool. And the nub, you'll feel the nub catch on the cutout on the barrel, but as long as you have the built-in groove lined up there with the groove on the barrel, you should be good. Now, these barrels kind of work with all different hop-ups and can be put in different AEGs. So there are 2 sets of notches. So I'm not too concerned about covering up the rear set because mine clips to the front one. So just basically put that on as far as it'll go. Your inner barrel will bottom out at this edge right here on the bucking. So now the only thing that moves is that right there. So now let's see if we can get the rest of this put together. Okay, so let's go here. Where is my, is it this side? It's, wow, it's so much more firm, I can't even tell. Okay, it's that side. All right, so on the groove is not the side that has the cutout for your nub. So basically, you can just flip that opposite direction, come across the other edge, and or if you want to use the groove, you can. So go back and line up the groove with like the center line of the, basically the center of this hop up. Now let's see if this will slide on. I might have to, yeah, you know what, here, let me just put a little bit of stuff on this because I don't want this to tear. It doesn't have to be completely greased like crazy, but I do want a little bit on here because I don't, like I said, I don't want it to tear. So let me just, I'll just do this off camera real quick. Get just a little bit on here. It doesn't have to be crazy. That will also, if I ever have to take this down and you know, change anything out, it'll be easier to get off. All right, so let's do that. Go back to our groove here. There's our groove facing up, and then just basically just center it on that stuff. And let's see if this will slide on. Like I said, this one has grooves in it on the actual bucking itself. The other one did not. Let's see, will it go the rest of the way? And there it goes. Boom. Now we're in. And then see, there's the, actually it went in a little too far, so there you go. So see, I put the grease in there, so it is moving. Once I get the clip in here, though, it's going to keep this pretty steady. So, I'm not too worried about the nub yet. I'm not worried about that yet, because of the type of this particular hop up, I can put it in after the fact. So let's just get this thing locked in place. We'll get this clip back on here. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, because like when I try, oh, will it focus? Okay, now you can see the groove here is lined up with the line in the very center of the hop-up unit. That's just what I use, just kind of help align it. Makes it easier to know where you're going with that. All right, let me find where my teeth are on my clip. And, without dropping it, would be nice. And okay, so I have them facing the right way. So now you can flip this over if you need to. So I already know my teeth are facing that direction. There's the teeth there on the barrel. We're still centered. Now, this might move a little bit when you try to push this on. That's not too big of a deal. Not super critical. Boom, there it goes. Oh, see, I had to move it a little bit. It just snapped in place. There we go. It looks like I am still aligned. And that'll kind of help keep this from turning too. So let me pull this off camera just to get a closer look, just to make sure that I'm straight. And it looks like we are. All right, cool. So now, other thing I'm going to do here, we're going to take this brass ring. We're going to slide this all the way back down. I'll show you where this goes because I didn't see it till I pulled the Hopup off. So we just slide this, it just goes in here. Just push it right in there. And it does kind of catch the edge of where there's like, I don't know, something that sticks out inside the Hopup. And it just kind of catches on the brass washer so it doesn't slide off, you know, once you get it in there. I don't know if you can hear her. My cat's going crazy outside the door. I can't let her in here. She keeps jumping in front of the camera. This is about the airsoft stuff, not the kitty. She's been fed. She's got water. She's fine. So anyways, okay. So now we're going to put our nub back in here. And this, now, if you want to put a little bit of silicone on this, you can. That'll help it kind of stick to this little piece here. Let's see, there still might be enough in there to hold it in place. And, oop, it's a little too far to one side. Slide over a little bit. So this one, I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. It just has to sit in there. Has to sit all the way up against the U or the C, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if you can see it. It's back in there now. You can see the little hole. So that's the little nub. Now, as long as it goes in here, and nope, it's still a little too far over to one side. And if it is over too far to one side, you'll know because you won't be able to push this down in there. There we go. Boom. Now, one thing I do before I go putting this back on, I point the barrel to like a light bulb or something and look down here and push down on the top and just make sure that it's pushing the nub into the barrel and that it's gonna operate correctly. That you're getting the nub pushing down the barrel. Otherwise, you're not going to get your Hopup working the way it should. Of course, the light bulb's blinding me. Yeah, okay. Yep, I pushed down. I got some hop in there. That's good. All right, so now that's on. Ooh, 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 ooh. Well, of course, I flipped it over, so now I got to check because the thing came right back out. Let me just double check that it is still hopping. Okay, looks like it's still pushing that in there. All right, cool. So now, before we get too far ahead, let's get this little ring back on here. See if I can see where would be the best way to do this. Try to do this kind of in the middle because the Hopup is not pushed all the way into the barrel. So basically, we'll try to pick a halfway point, which looks like maybe that. So we're not trying to just spin this thing around, spin it around. See if I can get this back on here. And basically that just slides over the clip and this will hold everything in place. Oh, and I just knocked it right out of the ballpark here. Try this again. Let's see, now I have to make sure, yep. So now I just messed up the Hopup bucking, or the nub. Actually, no, maybe I didn't. Yeah, I did. It moved. Crap. All right, well, that's what I get. Let's see here. Let's start over. There we go. There's my nub. Let's try this again. Now, again, if you don't put any grease on this when you put this in, this is what you're going to run into. Because it doesn't stick to this little arm. Let's see if I can get this back in here. All right, I think that's good. And again, I got to make sure that it's in the right spot. So I got to make sure that it's doing its hop thing. And of course, I have to take my glasses off because I can't see it. All right, it looks like it's hopping. All right, so now let's try and do this time without letting this thing pop all the way out. And where's my halfway point on this dial? Because like I said, that little the little notch is halfway down, so we don't want to. All right. And even if you have to turn it, there you go, boom. So now you'll know that the dial is all the way in because the little lip on this upper piece that pushes the nub into the bucking will go into there. So now you can do the thing again if you want to check if the hop up is actually working correctly. You can spin your dial and see if it's giving you any bumps in there. And it looks like it is. Come back the other way, go all the way off. Make sure it's all the way out. And it is. All right. So that's basically it. You know, you don't have to do anything with the pin. It's just remove the rotary dial, pull that C-clip off, slide your hop-up unit out. The nub is held into this little lever here that is pushed down by the inside of this rotary dial. And then you just slide your bucking off. Now, I'll keep this because this would be a good standard bucking for, you know, anything else. So we can keep that. And then basically you just throw this back in your upper receiver. You just got to line up the barrel with the inner barrel. And once it's in there, you just slide it all the way back down. Keep on sliding until it lines up in here, and you'll see it. It only goes in one way. There's a notch for it, and it basically, once it gets all the way in, it sits flush, and it can only go in so far. And there it sits. And you can see the light. See, it's all the way back, and it is basically just like a big U shape right there. And once that's pushed all the way in, that's it. So it is in. Hop-up bucking is in there. Hop-up unit is on. Inner barrel is all put back in. So let's get this upper and lower put back together. Let's get a battery on it, and let's see what it does. Now, let me just say, for the record, when I first put this together and chronoed this thing, I was chronoing this with 0.2 BBs, which I did mention in the DMR video on this. And this is an M160 spring. So I was getting 523 pretty consistent. I got 527. Okay. So the last time I chronoed this with 0.2 BBs, same spring, same everything, I was only getting like 510 to 513. Now, I checked the gearbox and we still have compression. I have the nozzle with the O-ring. I have good O-rings on the cylinder head, good O-rings on the piston head. That's all new. I replaced the O-rings on the cylinder head so that it would fit the non-ported cylinder correctly, because the O-ring that came with the gearbox in that cylinder wasn't fitting tight in my cylinder, my non-ported cylinder. So I'm just wondering if this spring like wore itself in, and maybe when I first put it in it was like ultra tight, and now, you know, running it and cycling it, it is kind of settled down a little bit. And it does look like these center coils here are a little closer together, so maybe it has settled down a little bit. Not really sure, but yeah, I got this. There's the box. Comes up to be an M160 spring, and saying it's capable of crazy FPS. But yeah, see, it says Spartan Imports on it. But yeah, so maybe it wore in. Maybe that's what's going on, because I'm not getting any signs of losing compression. I'm still getting consistent numbers. They're just not in the 520s with a 0.2. They're more in the teens. So 10, 11, 12, 13, but between 10 and 13 was my range. But let's get this all put back together with the new with this Maple Leaf 80-degree Hopup bucking, and let's go see what it does. Let's see if it stays the same or if it gets any better. If it stays the same or gets better, I'll be good with that either way. Because if I'm running heavier BBs in it, probably still going to be high 4s. So let's get it put back together and get this thing to the chrono. All right, got this thing down to the chrono. I'm getting consistency. I'm basically getting him 510, 509, 509, 510 with a 0.2 gram BB. Again, originally I was shooting 523, 523, 525, and then I did get a 527 in the chrono stuff that I attached to the DMR build video. But after putting the Maple Leaf bucking in there, 5.9, 5.10, that was it. Pretty consistent. I'd get to 5.10, 5.10, 5.10, 5.9, 5.10. So that's pretty good. It's pretty consistent. Next thing I want to try and do is see what kind of range videos I can get. It's kind of hard to, I don't have a scope cam, so I don't know what I'm going to be able to pick up through the scope with the, with the camera. We'll try a few different things and see what we can get. So 510 with a 0.2 gram BB. I'm going to run this with 2.8s. I figure maybe a 2.8. I'll get some 2.5s and 2.8s and see what they do and see if there's any differences. Obviously, the lighter the BB, the more affected it is by the wind. And out where I live, sometimes it can get windy. You'll get some crosswind. So even shooting 500 plus with a lightweight BB at the long range, it's gonna, it's gonna be blowing them around. But so that's it for now. Hopefully this helps. Changing Hopup buckings and stuff is not that bad. Tearing these apart is not really that bad. You don't have any pins going through the receivers to get the gearboxes and stuff out on this one. I just got some body pins. Everything just slides apart basically. But yeah, if you've got an SG1, most of them will have the rotary Hopup, and hopefully this video helps. And until next time, take care. Drop a like, drop a subscribe if you'd like to subscribe. Drop some comments if there's anything else you want to know about this. There are other manufacturers that make SG1s or G3s in general. Again, this is a very old school Tokyo Marui. I don't even think you can buy these anymore, but they're not that different from the new ones, like the JG SG1s that they have out there now. Real similar. If you get the SG1, you're gonna get the built-in bipod. Kind of nice if you want to, really go hide somewhere and be a sniper, a designated sniper. But yeah, so hopefully this helps. And until next time, we'll have some more stuff coming. I know sometimes it takes me some time to get some stuff on the channel, but hopefully this is informative. Hopefully this helps. Take care, guys.